Hello everyone, my name is Arindam and in this video I'll be showing you the easiest and most reliable way to get the artifact of the pack from the upper south cave. I will also be showing you the 3 explorer nodes found in the cave, which are for the mammoth, megalodon as well as the listosaurus. So first of all, the location of the cave. I'll give you a better visual representation. So we are currently somewhere here. As you can see, I already have a marker for the upper south cave, and if I hop into my Rhinognatha and let me also disable volumetric cloud, so you are going to get a very good idea of where we are. Okay, that did not work. Now it worked. So as you can see, we are sitting, there is our cave location. We have the green obelisk over there. Here is the redwoods and the blue obelisk behind. There is a red obelisk, and here we are. This area is slightly tricky to actually get, and I actually got lost a couple of times finding the location. And the GPS coordinates for this cave mouth has actually been updated. So some of the earlier GPS coordinates are not going to match up with this. Let me go to the mouth of the cave and I'm going to show you the exact GPS coordinates. Okay, so the GPS coordinates of this cave are 71.3 by 57.2. Right, now let's look at what are the tames we're going to have. Okay, before I actually let you see my equipment and the tame, beside every single cave you should always construct one of these shacks. You can consider it like a logout shack, and essentially you should have something like a bed and a box to store some of your valuables, just in case you die and you need to respawn. This particular cave, I actually have constructed what I would call an ice cream shack in the form of an ice cream cone I made with cantaloupe, and the bottom part is mostly vanilla with strawberry, which I have color coded with white as well as raisin. And you can think of the blue railing as kind of like a blueberry kind of gel. I'm going to give you a tour of this ice cream cone base later on, my ice cream shack. And if you have been following my videos from ARK Survival Evolved, especially the 6 or 7 years I played in Evolved, you will find that I always construct a completely unique, sometimes esoteric kind of shack for every single artifact cave across all the 12 maps. This is just my habit, I cannot help it. Okay, now the cave mount we are going to be using for this is the Baryonyx. Since I already have Bob's tails, I have gotten a couple of traits. The most important trait here being the vampiric trait, which will allow you to steal a couple of health from your enemy attackers. But the traits are completely optional. Vampiric is good to have and the other ones are not really required. The upper south cave is slightly more challenging than some of the other caves like the lower south lava cave, and I would recommend that your Baryonyx has a pretty good stat, as in you might have a primitive saddle but try to have enough health as well as enough melee damage. And because Baryonyx is a tame that you will be requiring as your caving mount in multiple maps, I would also recommend that you actually get your Baryonyx imprinted after raising up. Mine doesn't have too much of you just have one if I believe melee mutation, but that's more or less it. And these are the traits. Only vampiric is of any use to it. Now regarding the things that I'll be taking to the cave, so as of November 11th 2024, PvE and single player you can actually use cryopods inside the cave, but for PvP it is still limited. Hence I will not be using any kind of cryopod. Let me, as a rule of thumb, take these things out and put it outside. In fact, wait, I will need one of these to cryo my Baryonyx eventually. Regarding the equipment, this cave has Arthropleura. Okay, this cave actually has Megalosaurus, so this cave should not be done after time of 2130 when the Megalosaurus become awake and they become very dangerous. So you should always attempt this cave when you are any time before 21:30, and you should try to get out of your cave before 21:30. Anyway, regarding the equipment, since the cave has Arthropleura and Arthropleura spits can damage your armor even while you're riding a mount, I would advise you to take either cloth armor as well or hide armor. Chitin is still okay, but chitin requires you to actually get it repaired in a smithy, so it's mostly hide or cloth, because hide and cloth can be repaired with hide, which is abundant inside the cave, as well as if you are carrying a sickle or if you have sufficient fiber, you will be able to repair them perfectly. The other equipment I would suggest is try to take some kind of a melee weapon, either it's a sword or a pike. You need to use a grappling hook. A grappling hook is kind of mandatory in the cave, and it will allow you to exit the cave, and it will also allow you to reach the artifact chamber with minimal combat. So it's kind of like a shortcut, and I'll show you where it's going to be required. Now, if you are going to take the shortcut and if you are not going to be using any tame, you would require to have a very good equipment to combat some of the dangerous tames, especially the Arthropleura as well as the bats. So I would advise that you either have a really good ascendant crossbow, or if you don't have a really good crossbow, try to get primitive or some amount of shotgun or assault rifle. Now my shotgun is ascendant, but that is only to ensure that I could complete the video early on without spending too much time killing the critters. Because bats are present, so you should take a couple of lesser antidotes so that you avoid any kind of rabies. And you should, if you are trying to use the long route without using the grappling hooks, I would advise that you also take a scuba tank. In fact, if you are not using the grappling hook shortcut, scuba tank is actually mandatory. Okay, now that is it for the intro. I have also taken a bunch of fish meat to heal my Baryonyx, and just to ensure that it doesn't get encumbered, I have already disabled resource harvesting. So now that we have done the really long introduction, let's actually start the fight. So it is the initial part of the cave is slightly tricky to maneuver, and there is a good chance that you might actually get lost. So it happens with me, it happened with me even in ARK Survival Evolved. So what I would do is I would always follow the right hand side when I'm actually going in. So I'm going to take a right over here. I'm doing this part intentionally slow so that you guys don't get confused. Again, there is 1, 2, 3 paths there. I'm going to take the rightmost path. Again, from here I'm going to take the rightmost path. Now there are a lot of paths going everywhere, and I'm going to take the rightmost path again. Always the rightmost path. And now this is our marker. This path that goes down actually leads into the down part of the cave, and now we have reached the less confusing area. So now we can head on straight. If you are not taking any raw fish meat with you, don't worry. The underwater sections actually have mega piranha, which will allow you to heal your Baryonyx really good. Now the thing is, in ARK Survival Evolved, Baryonyx could easily go through, but now they have added this kind of obstruction which ensures that Baryonyx actually cannot pass this area, and just past this area there are enemies. So what I would do is I would try to get my shotgun ready, and we can actually see that there are Arthropleuras in this area. Okay, by the way, By the way, I am also using an Otter. The Otter provides me a lot of insulation. So the Otter provides me a lot of hypothermic and hyperthermic insulation, especially in this cave since I'm using hide, and hide is kind of hot. So the Otter actually can help me cover up some of the insulation. As you can see, the insulation is now 816 by 190. If I remove the Otter, it becomes much less, both of them. And the Otter also allows me to carry multiple artifacts, so it's really good. Now, regarding the Baryonyx cannot fit through this part, so now you have two choices. For the actual choice is to drop down, but I will also show you that you can actually jump to this side. It's not going to help you too much, but aside you just will be able to clear out this area. So for this, and we are now to this area. What I'm going to try to do is, Baryonyx, there is another obstruction that will make sure that the Baryonyx cannot go through, but I will at least clear this area so that when I come back without the Baryonyx, it will be much faster. Now this cave is slightly more tougher than the other caves, that is why I'm going it a bit slow. You might think that the video is getting stretched out a bit, but I would rather that the video becomes long and you guys get a realistic perspective than me trying to speed run certain parts with really powerful equipment or doing some kind of edits, because that kind of covers some of the hard challenges that I'm facing. So I am trying to bait out these Arthroplurus. And if you were to reload in third person, it's actually much faster. Okay, you see this little hole over here? The Baryonyx actually cannot fit through this hole anymore. In fact, okay, so right now it can fit. Take this guy out. It cannot fit to the next gap. So here, it will not be able to fit this gap anymore. That is what I was saying. So if you were to take a Baryonyx, you will have to drop down, but the reason why I cleared this part was to ensure that when I do come back up, I can easily run through this area without any trouble. Okay, so this entire area now is kind of free now. We also have gotten, I guess, no, there is no Titanoboa venom. So now let's go back up, and this time we are actually going to drop down. We're going to fall down. It has to be a controlled fall so that the Baryonyx doesn't take damage. So we just have to find the correct area. So let's see. Okay, so we have cleared this area, almost. So we have cleared this area. So if you were to not clear the upper part as I have done, you could still come here, do a grapple and go above, after crying your Baryonyx of course. Anyway, from here, this was the path that was actually obstructed by the rock, and this is the path we are going to take to go down. So our very first explorer node is okay. This is our very first explorer node for the Lystrosaurus. I had already captured it before. The coordinates are 71.8 by 60.8. For some weird reason the dossier did not come up, but I am still getting the XP bonus. Now we have left route and the right route. Let me clear this guy. So from this intersection, if you were to turn right, you are going to go into the artifact chamber, but we are going to get the second explorer node from the left hand side. And let me see if I can speed these things up a bit, slightly. You know, so the Arthropleura's pit actually damages your armor. So if you were to be very fast and rush the Arthropleura, then the Arthropleura's pit is not going to hit you, and in that case you will be safe. So this is kind of similar to the World War II tactic of how Soviet tanks used to charge and ram the German tanks. So I'm following the same strategy over here. Anyway, so now we have to do two jumps. First jump is here, and we also have a loot crate. And as you can see, there are Arthropleuras on that side. Let me see if I can rush them again instead of using my shotgun. If you move very fast, then the Arthropleura will not have much chance to actually attack you, or rather you can avoid your speed that way. So now that we have cleared this area, and we have now come to the take this guy out also. Okay, so it was a max level. I should have tamed it. Anyway, so this is the dossier location for Helena Note. Alright, the last time I came it was a different it was, I think, the Megalodon dossier. Okay, anyway, so the coordinates for this is latitude 73, longitude 63.2. So that is our second explorer node. Now we need to jump back to the other side. So far, if you can see my armor, it has probably not even taken a single hit from the Arthropleura. If you were to fall down, there is a very big pool with Sarcos and Megapiranhas, and eventually you can take the left hand path of the pool to reach the main chamber. Anyway, let's go back. We are again at the T junction, and instead of going left, we are going to go right. There are no arthropleuders, so we can charge them. Alright, now the third explorer note is actually over there. But instead, I'm going to clear out this part. Why? Because... and there are those pesky arthropleuders. See, can I shoot this guy? Now we are going to rush, we're going to charge them full speed because we have arthropleuders. We have multiple arthropleuders. And we have Sarcosuchus. There was a time I used to be scared of Sarcos, but after the Deinosuchus has come, Sarcosuchus kind of feels not that powerful. So let's also take our third explorer note from here. This is the one for the mammoth. Again, it has not come up. The coordinates of the mammoth dossier is at 74.9 by 61.5, and that is the last of the explorer nodes in this particular cave. So now we are going to take the shortcut. So our artifact can actually be reached through that location. And we are going to use a grappling hook. It's a shortcut and it is going to avoid the entire water section. But before we leave our Baryonyx over here, we would ideally want to ensure that there are no Sarcos that can surprise us. So for this area, just doing a small recon over here. Alright, there are a lot of mega piranhas though, but there are no Sarcos. So just out of curiosity, let me take these guys out anyway, because they are so nearby. Now that we have a lot of these different things, and we don't also need this, let me unencumber myself. And as you can see, the Baryonyx was able to heal a rapid amount thanks to fish meat. So I'm going to disable the resource harvesting again, and this time I'm going to go up. So from this mouth we're going to... This is also the part in which you would require your personal weapon. As you can see, this is why I said you need a sword or a shotgun or a really good crossbow. I'm taking the shotgun. And generally the shotgun does it really well. And there is our artifact. Sometimes Sarcos even spawn in this area and the shotgun can be really helpful. So here is the artifact of the pack. coordinates are 76.8 by 62.9. Give a better picture. Alright, so here's our artifact. Let me give it to this guy. Now we can head back out. So right now we have gotten the artifact and we have also gotten the 3 explorer nodes, and we can head back out. Now I'm going to show you what if you are not taking this shortcut, what would happen. So if you were using the traditional route that allows you to go underwater, you are going to require a different strategy. So what you're going to require is, first you're going to require a scuba mask, sorry, a scuba tank, not a mask, scuba tank. Then see this hole right there, this very deep hole. You're going to follow this hole to its very end. We don't need to do too much combat because the Baryonyx can do a tail spin, and that can stun the Sarco and mostly kill Mega Piranhas in one hit. So now you have to again go down. You cannot do this section without scuba and without Lazarus chowder. You need at least one of them, and I would not risk a Lazarus chowder. It's better to use scuba for this. So now here is your chance to come back up. You see the red mushrooms? You're going to follow this. You're going to enter into this area, which again has a bunch of bats. So now don't go straight, take the right hand path, and you're going to go into the final scuba section. Again, you don't need to do any kind of underwater combat, just about enough to navigate this area. There are Sarcos also. Don't need to do any combat. There is a second Sarco. Stunning is enough. Now you have this route and this route. Take the left hand route, and you are in the artifact chamber again. So this is where the artifact was spawning, and thankfully, because of how small the Baryonyx is, you can run up this route, and drop into this area again. And that was the long route. Now let's go back. Now we can go back. Okay, sometimes it gets stuck. So by the way, if you find this video guide helpful, please drop a like, share around, and subscribe. It really helps me out. And as you know from my ARK Survival Evolved videos, I'll be doing a 100% completion run of ARK Ascended across every single map. And as you have seen before, I do not like to skimp out on any details, so you get uncut, no edit videos. You get the full 100% of it. If you feel like certain parts are becoming too slow, you can always skip to the end, or you can fast forward the video. Okay, now you can either take this route, cryo your Baryonyx and use the grappling hook over there. Let me show you where, like this location. Or if you want something a bit less risky, you can take this path that I cleared before. So this is the path in which our Baryonyx was getting stuck. We are going to get out of this. Uncryoing may not be allowed in PvP, but cryoing is allowed. So you can cryo the Baryonyx, and now unless you have actually spent a lot of time in the cave, there is very less chance of any creature spawning over here on your way back. But in case you do, always make sure that the shotgun is with you. So now we are at the mouth of the main area. Okay, now when we were coming down, we were always taking the right hand side. Now we are going to do the exact same thing, but take the left hand side all the time. So we're going to go left. Lot of mushrooms. We're going to go left. Always go left. Don't follow James Bond's advice in Casino Royale. Don't say to the right, always say to the left. So, to the left. Again, lot of ways to go. I'll go to the left. This area, that area, go left. See? Now if you go left, you have exited the cave successfully, and you have also gotten the artifact. Alright, so that was the artifact. Now I'm going to show you my little ice cream shack. So now that lot of new structures have come up in ARK Ascended, I wanted to try out some of the cool new things, and well, this thing can actually be probably imitated in ARK Survival Evolved, I think. But still I wanted to make a reverse pyramid, and eventually it came up that I could actually make a ice cream cone out of it. So yeah, Arindam's ice cream shack. This thing has been colored with cantaloupe, and this is essentially, after the cone you get vanilla with strawberry, and this is the blueberry sauce. If you go inside it, it's not much. You can decorate it the way you want it to. This color is dark pink or raisin or Tyrian. I think it's Tyrian or raisin, either of them, and this represents like deep strawberry or even raspberry sauce. And here is a bed and a box. That's it. And these are also made with pink. So you know, big fan of strawberry, raspberry, blueberry and other fruity flavors. So yeah, that is it for this video. If you enjoyed it, please drop a like, subscribe and share around, and I will see you in the next video. Thank you and stay tuned.